A date's now set. House January 6 Committee Chairman Benny Thompson announcing the committee's first public hearings will happen Thursday, June 9th.
We've collected an awful lot of information, and some of that information has bearings on members.
Thompson says they'll hold at least 8 public hearings in total, some happening in prime time. He adds that senators will be invited to cooperate. The panel will also re-invite other Republicans linked to conversations inside the Trump White House before and after the January 6 Capitol riot, including House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who refused to cooperate with the committee back in January. McCarthy now being called a liar and a hypocrite by his critics for downplaying the events of January 6 in many public statements and expressing support for former President Donald Trump, but in private, criticizing Trump for the deadly insurrection and expressing concern statements from his Republican colleagues might incite further violence. Audio of some of McCarthy's statements were released by the New York Times.
This is serious stuff people are doing that has to stop. But our members have got to start paying attention to what they say too, and you can't put up with that type of.
The radical right playbook is simple. Number 1, lie. Number 2, lie. Number 3, lie.
But in the first House Republican meeting since the leaked audio surfaced, sources tell ABC News McCarthy defended his words and received a standing ovation and a round of applause from his colleagues.
Kevin McCarthy is a great leader, and he's going to be a great speaker.
Dwindling water supplies across the American West have authorities racing to find solutions to a worsening crisis. One idea on the table: recycling wastewater for drinking.
As long as people are flushing, we continue to create more water.
In California, a water purification center is now preparing to supply the Bay Area with purified wastewater in the next few years, when the state is expected to regulate the use of recycled water for human consumption.
We send it through microfiltration, which has a pore size 300 times smaller than the diameter of a human hair, and that small pore can remove bacteria, protozoa, and large viruses, and any other large particulates that are in that water.
This past January and February were the driest 2 months beginning of a year on record in the state. Beginning in June, people in Southern California will face unprecedented restrictions, only being allowed to water lawns once a week.
Why is it that we always seem to be running behind? What steps are we doing for the future?
California is also testing this idea, placing solar panels over the thousands of miles of irrigation canals in the state. The idea is the solar panels will slow down the evaporation of the canal water while also supplying energy. In Nevada, water levels are alarmingly low at Lake Mead, which supplies the Las Vegas area with 90% of its water. The level getting so low this week, the lake's original intake pipe was exposed for the first time ever, making the system unable to pump water. Thankfully, the city was already testing a lower level pumping system, which is now operational.